Call to order for the regular school board meeting for September 8th, 2025. At this time, roll call. All members are present. And if you will join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we will approve or ask for changes to the agenda. Is there a motion to accept the agenda? Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
I think I heard Mrs. Smith first. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. The VSBA Media Honor Roll Program. At this time, Mrs. Hoover and Mrs. Hutchins will help us with that.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Brads. This evening, I have the honor of presenting the 2025 Virginia School Boards Association Media Honor Roll. Local reporters and media organizations serve as an important bridge between our schools and the broader community. Their coverage helps families, staff, and citizens stay informed about the programs, initiatives, and achievements happening within Culpeper County Public Schools. Reliable and balanced reporting ensures that the public has a clear picture of both the opportunities and challenges in education today. Recognizing the significance of this partnership, the VSBA established the Media Honor Roll to highlight journalists and outlets who demonstrate fairness, accuracy, and a commitment to public education and their reporting. By unanimous decision, this board has named the following to the 2025 statewide Media Honor Roll. First, we have Allison Brophy, champion from the Culpeper Star Exponent. I'll take your picture.
You get to be in.
Next, we have Ian Keeney from INL's DJing and Event Production. Got it. And the third recipient is Culpeper Media Network. We are grateful to all of them for their continued dedication to sharing the stories of our schools and our students, and their work underscores the importance of community partnerships and our shared mission of providing the very best educational opportunities for every child in Culpeper. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, Eastern View High School Principal Dr. Bopp will present for his school.
Good evening, members of the board, Madam Chair, Dr. Brads. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to show you a brief video about some of the new things at Eastern View. I would be remiss if I didn't give full credit to this video to Robert Dwyer and Heather Glick, as they did all the work. I kind of go into their office and throw spaghetti ideas on the wall, and then they make it work. We wanted to focus on some new things we're doing this year, some initiatives from last year, and I hope you can really focus on some of the things that our students are doing with our event team. If you didn't know, Mr. Dwyer has an events team that is so capable. We're now actually live streaming sporting events to our public. Our own little events team is doing that. We live stream pep rallies for students that can't attend for one reason or the other due to some sensory issues. So we've got some really good kids that are in here. And if you've met Robert, you know he is kind of the Swiss Army knife of everything. So please enjoy the short video, and then I will answer any questions that you have afterwards.
Good evening, CCPS. Welcome back to another exciting year at Eastern View. We're kicking things off with some fresh faces and exciting updates you won't want to miss.
This year, we're thrilled to welcome our new administrators and counselors, Miss Buzzo, Mr. Curnow, and Miss Bird. Each of them has already jumped in to support our students, staff, and community.
Good morning, Cyclones, and happy Monday. My name is Miss Aubrey Buzzo, and I'm the 4th assistant principal here at Eastern View. I'm very happy to be here, excited to get to know you guys and learn how I can support.
Good morning, everybody. I am Miss Bird. This is my first year here at Eastern View.
And now we're starting a new segment on Fridays called Things I Thought Were Cool with Curnow, where I'm gonna embarrass myself.
We're also excited to introduce our new athletic director, Mr. Pickett. He's already bringing incredible energy to Eastern View Athletics.
Speaking of exciting athletics, we had our home opener football game last week, live streamed by our talented events team. You'll never miss a play with the events team stream, that's for sure.
We the win! Touchdown! Cyclones, number 7!
Speaking of talent, our new drama teacher, Miss Earnhardt, is about to lead her students in a moving performance of One More Step by Eastern View senior Riley Corbin.
I know I'm excited to be a part of the production.
The day before school started, the SOS was put out to our amazing staff. They rolled up their sleeves to help sort Chromebooks into every homeroom. A huge shout out to everyone who pitched in.
You know, I feel like I'm forgetting another new thing. Oh yeah, us! That's right, not only are we freshmen and new to Eastern View, we're also new members to the EVTV anchor team.
And before we go, don't forget to check our brand new Chromebook commercial, made right here at EVHS. Trust us, you won't look at your laptop the same way again.
Guys! Oh my god! Your Chromebook. Are you okay?
It kind of looks broken.
Chromebook accidents can happen in the blink of an eye. For just $30, the CCPS Chromebook Protection Plan can cover 2 of these accidents. Purchase yours before August 28th.
This time I can answer any questions that you may have.
Anyone?
I like the expansion with EVTV, and I would have never guessed that those young commentators were freshmen. They were already doing a great job.
Yeah, they're doing great.
And I cannot wait to see what Mr. Curnow comes up with.
Yes, yes.
Be exciting, and the guy that stumbled with his Chromebook, he was a pretty good actor. I hope he was.
Yeah, that's Mr. Hodgson's son, and he's also in the one act that, in case you didn't catch it, one of our students actually wrote our one act play this year. So we're, it's actually student led. She wrote it. It's been picked. It's pretty cool.
Very nice. Anybody else?
No questions, just that was great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice the event team is doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no request to speak. Are there any audience members who would like to speak? Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second? All right, and vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. All right, payroll and payment of bills.
No, that's in the consent agenda.
Oh, sorry, didn't flip down enough. Action items. Approval of Arts and Education Week resolution. I believe that's Ms. Hutchins.
Whereas arts education, comprising a rich array of disciplines including dance, music, theater, media arts, literature, design, and visual arts, is a core academic subject and an essential element of a complete and balanced education for all students. Whereas, according to Albert Einstein, after a certain high level of technical skill is achieved, science and art tend to coalesce in aesthetics, plasticity, and form. The greatest scientists are artists as well. Whereas arts education enables students to develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills, imagination and creativity, discipline, alternative ways to communicate and express ideas, and cross-cultural understanding that supports academic success across the curriculum as well as personal growth outside the classroom. Whereas the nonprofit arts sector contributes to the economy and plays an important role in the economic health of communities large and small, with direct expenditures of wages and benefits as well as goods and services. Whereas to succeed in today's economy, students must masterfully use words, images, sounds, and movement to communicate. Whereas the arts equip students with a creative, competitive edge needed to participate in the 20th century economy. Whereas if schools and communities are delivering high-quality learning opportunities in, through, and about the arts for children, extraordinary results may occur. Whereas studies have shown that schools with large populations of students in economic poverty can be transferred into vibrant hubs of learning through arts education. Whereas studies have also found that 8th graders from under-resourced environments who are highly involved in the arts have better grades, less likelihood of dropping out by grade 10, have more positive attitudes about school, and are more likely to go to college. Whereas attracting and retaining the best teachers is vital and can be achieved by ensuring that schools embrace the arts, becoming havens for creativity and innovation. Whereas arts education has the power to make students want to learn, not just within the arts, but other areas of study. And whereas art is integral to the lives of many in our community and can improve the vitality of communities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Culpeper County School Board joins Congress in proclaiming September 14th through 2025 to be Arts in Education Week, and encourages the community to celebrate, participate in, and promote the arts in education throughout Culpeper County. Adopted this 8th day of September 2025.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept?
I'd like to second that resolution.
A
Oh, I
motion
thought
first.
that was,
So you want to do the motion?
I'll make the motion then.
There you go.
That
All right.
we,
And second. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All good. All right, so the approval of Bullying Prevention Month resolution will be read by Ms. Desolé.
Good evening. Whereas school bullying has become an increasingly significant problem in the United States and Virginia, and whereas nearly 20% of youth in the United States are estimated to be involved in bullying each year, either as a bully or as a victim, and whereas an estimated 10% of elementary schools, 15% of high schools, and 28% of middle schools reported the occurrence of bullying at school at least once a week. And whereas bullying can take many forms, including verbal, physical, and electronic, and can happen in many places, both on and off school grounds, whereas it is important for Virginia parents, students, teachers, and school administrators to be aware of bullying and to encourage discussion of the problem as a school community. And whereas the VSBA has developed sample policies to encourage positive behaviors and to eliminate bullying behaviors. Now therefore, the Virginia School Board Association recognizes the month of October 2025 as VSBA Bullying Prevention Month, with the intention that the issue of bullying and its prevention be discussed in Virginia schools and classrooms during that time. Adopted this 8th day of September 2025.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept?
I move that we accept the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are up to the staff reports. I believe we start with the superintendent.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Madam Chairman, members of the board, just a really brief update for me regarding enrollment. Is kind of a brief update and more of a commendation than anything else. And why would I say a commendation? A commendation. That is because we do take into account, you see in your packet, your August membership. And Mr. Dean will refer to the membership in August, but also to where we're headed with the day enrollment count that we took after Labor Day. So I want to say this about that. After Labor Day, we received 19 new students after Labor Day. Now that gets us to 8212, plus the preschool gets us to 8369. So we're trending very well with enrollment. But the point that I want to make is that 19 students required our staff, administration, and teachers to work really hard to get them going again, because that's 17 school days that they were not here because we start early. And it's not for lack of communicating via our schools, or our school division, our communications department. We let people know when we start, and we want our children, our students, your children, to be in school sooner than that. It may not sound like a large number, but that's 19 students that are starting 17 days in arrears. One more day, they would be considered chronically absent. Now, they're not technically chronically absent. Why? Because they haven't started school yet. So that is not an absentee, but I just would make the point that we need students to get here early and often. That helps them not fall behind in the instruction. So commendation to our staff for making up that difference. They've been back now since Labor Day for 5 whole days. So we've been backfilling for sure. And I'm not talking about the CMS project. I'm talking about backfilling knowledge and information, right? We have reduced our no-shows from some astronomical number in like 900 or so, plus or minus, down to 41. Am I saying that correctly? 42, can't see it. 42 no-shows as of after Labor Day. So that's phenomenal work, getting contacts out there saying, are you coming? Are you not coming? Have you transferred elsewhere? So we've greatly reduced our no-shows. So I just want to share that information, that we do track all the way through after the Labor Day holiday and take another count. The next count that's significant and meaningful, as it helps with our budget in terms of the state funding us as they compare fall membership with average daily membership, will be our September 30 count. So that'll be the next formal count that matters to us in terms of how it's compared to ADM. Happy to answer any questions you may have, but I just wanted to do a shout out to our staff for their heavy lifting of making up that difference of students who come after we start. Thank you.
Any questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Is there a specific age that was more likely to not show for 19 days? Was it more elementary? Was it more high school? Or is it all over the place?
I would say it's all over the place, but slightly higher at the high schools. That's not because of high school efforts.
Oh, no.
Okay?
No.
But it's because teenagers, high school students, they're deciding where they're going to go to school, how many credits do they have. It's a different ballgame in terms of their path to high school graduation. So I'd say a little bit towards high school, but all levels had experienced some level of arriving late or later in the year, and the no-shows that still remain. So thank you for your question.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, we will now have the instruction update from Mr. Hallman.
Maybe. Says it's on. Batteries? Okay, we'll go with that. We'll just do that. All right. Thank you, Vanna, for helping there. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share some information with you this evening. As you see, many of these slides are taken directly from DOE. Forgive any mistakes there may be that have been noted. With that said, you're going to find this information familiar because you've seen it not too long ago. But with this being brand new to everyone, and this is about the time of year when the new accountability ratings are going to come out, I think it's probably a good idea to have a little refresher and maybe show the viewers out in Culpeper what the new system is beginning to look like. Okay. Here are again the overall guiding principles that the states put out. I'll point to number 4 because it's the one I think that's going to cause the most confusion for people, is that there's an obvious goal to have trust between the schools, parents, and students through transparent, concrete, easy to understand reporting. With this being a brand new process that's changed something that we've been doing for many, many years, it might be difficult for some folks to catch on to realize it's not just SOL scores anymore. It's a combination of things. So we're going to try to help with transparency once everything comes out and getting the information out to our parents. So here are the indicator levels for each elementary, middle, and high school. And you can see obviously that mastery is a big element on the SOL tests and other tests. And then you have growth, and you have readiness. And readiness looks very different at all 3 levels. And once all these calculations take place and they add all the points together, it's not just scores anymore. They add in the chronic absenteeism, they add in the 3E information, then they will give us our rating and our point system. You may have seen maybe in the VSBA updates in the mornings that some school divisions have already started to report their scores. That's just the very basic raw score. That's not the total points that we will receive. So that's still yet to come. You're going to see those probably pretty soon, but the last check, they were still putting in ASVAB scores and the 3E calculation Deborah and I were working on this morning. It's still not finalized yet. So I would say still within a couple of weeks on that. So the high school looks very different. Is that where I am? High school looks very different because you're going to see graduation, obviously the most important thing we do, that's up there, but that's 15% of the calculation. And down below, readiness is 35%, and of that 35, 25% of it is accounted for with the 3E framework. So that's going to be a significant piece of the overall total for the high schools. And then these categories, we're going to have to pay attention to this first year, and they will write their school improvement plans based on where do we think we need to improve the most, because there are going to be areas that we may fall short for these particular categories. Again, here are the 3 areas that they want every high school graduate to have some focus on. High demand industry recognized credential, high rigor military preparation outcome measure for enlistment, and I'm going to touch on that one again in a second, and then transferable post secondary credits, either dual enrollment grades, AP test score, those kinds of things. You've seen this chart before. This is about the same. I'll go into each one of these independently to make it a little bit easier for you to read. Okay, so for enrollment, you're focused on primarily in our division, you're going to focus on earning the associate's degree. Only the kids who get an associate's degree are eligible for that 1.25 points. That's it. So that's the top of this category is 1.25 points, but it's an associate's degree. So keep thinking about what the top of each of these categories is or should be. Then you can earn a few fewer points if you are just a few dual enrollment credits or an AP score, a qualifying score. Keep in mind, we don't currently require kids to take the AP test. That could be something that we examine in the future. Either you require them to have it or require them to take it if they want the weight for that particular course. And then it drops down as you go further along. And then just completing the dual enrollment credit class with the C is the lowest number of points that you can get there. So notice the little question at the bottom. Do CTE DE courses count for enrollment points? This was a surprise to us. We didn't know it was going to look like this. So the answer is, as long as the student didn't also pass the CET credential in the same class. So you would think we want them to take the DE and get their credential, but they're only going to award points for one of those two areas. So if they don't pass their credential, then they'll give them the credit for the dual enrollment course. But if they do pass their credential, they're going to get credit for that and not dual enrollment. So that might be something that's not as transparent, that you can understand why I might say that. That might be hard for someone to understand when the scores finally do come out. Thank you. Then employment. I go back to the top of the category. You have to be a CTE completer in a high demand field with a credential, and notice it says it's underlined, and complete a high quality work-based learning experience. So to get the top points, you have to do all three of those things. And then it drops down each one and you see an or, and then you see an and. So it just drops as the points go down. And then a CTE completer who completes a high quality work-based experience, which has changed, would get 0.5 points. So here are the categories. I won't read all those to you, but we went from basically 12 work-based learning experiences down to 6. And so we're in the process of adjusting everybody's kind of understanding of what those are. Ms. Cockrell's working on some visuals and some resources for counselors and administrators, because we're going to start tracking things that are worth graduation requirements and worth points. Because there are some things that we no longer do that are worth any points, but they still count towards graduation. So we have to make sure we're tracking for both. Then enlistment. Remember what the top of each category was. Now enlistment is only down to 1 point. So it doesn't even, they're not even making it the top of the 3 categories like the other 2 were. This is also only an ASVAB score. There are no points for being a member of ROTC. There are no points for the ultimate goal, which is the category is called enlistment. So we are hoping strongly, Region 4, me and my group, are hoping that the state is willing to take another look at this and say, if you've done the top of the line product for what you want to do in this category, maybe they should get the points for that. Both high schools, while we've received different rules for what ASVAB testing might look like this year, both schools want to have a broader opportunity to test more students. We've talked about what a great tool it would be for talking about future careers and how many careers there are. Not that you have to join the military, but by taking the test, maybe you find out a certain aptitude you didn't know you had. Here's a blacked out template. I want to show you this so that in the future when I share the results with you, this is kind of the table that you will see. The totals for each category, then the number of points and the number of students, and then the index value, which will add up to the total number of points for that school. This is just kind of a placeholder to let you know what the actual report might look like for each school. And then we come down to, again, those targets: distinguished, on track, off track, or needs intensive support. Right now, the scores are in, but the data from these other categories, as you see there, mastery, growth, L growth, master schedule collection is in, College of Board scores, ASVAB, all of those things are still being thrown into the hopper, so to speak, to be calculated. But we have told schools they need to be working on their comprehensive support plans now because they know what their SOL results are. We were very close on our calculations for that, so they know what areas they need to work on first. Believe it or not, there's still an accreditation designation. So you have accountability and accreditation. This one has really turned into compliance more than anything else. So if DOE says you have a school that needs to be working on a particular report or a designation, maybe they are in mourning, that kind of thing, they're going to say, we need X, Y, and Z from you. Whether you're going to sit in our webinars, you're going to provide your documentation of your comprehensive school plan. As long as we are fully compliant, if you see fully accredited, if we do everything they ask of us and turn in everything that they've asked of us, we are going to be in good shape. Notice denied. If you've designated conditionally accredited but failed to do anything, then you could be denied. We are not going to fail to do anything. We will do exactly what they ask of us, and our schools are very compliant and participate fully in everything DOE asks of us. Again, I share this for teachers, parents. DOE has a website with all of the resources related to 3E and the new accountability system. It's all out there for everybody to look at publicly. And I think that is it. Be glad to answer questions if I can.
All right, Ms. Pearson has a question.
We're talking about the 4-year cohort.
Yes.
What about the kids that graduate early? Are we going to get gigged for them? Or
They will have met the qualifications. I should have mentioned cohort earlier. All of the 3E information is cohort based specifically. So they'll submit math scores, English scores every year, but they are keeping a cohort tabulation as well. So this year's freshmen they'll report in 2029. That'll be their cohort. So if I complete something in 10th grade and then I do a different experience in 11th, all those things will be calculated. So the 3E piece are only really seniors that are leaving. Thank you for that question.
Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Cassaway.
I have a couple of things I just wanted clarified. When they're talking about the high demand
Yes.
fields, is there any allowance for us to give input on that by district? Like I know we have the Future Teachers Academy and things like that, and I know that was a high demand thing, but who's deciding? Just DOE saying these are the high demand things, and if we don't have them,
The
too bad? I mean,
the
VOE,
employment group for the state has identified what all of the high needs wages. I was a little bit surprised what all the high needs jobs are. There are some very high needs jobs that you would think maybe not qualify, but actually like service workers are in high demand. So there are high demand ones with lower wages and high demand with higher wages. And there's a list that they've provided. And Ms. Cockrell is actually in the process now of going through and matching up a high quality work-based learning experience with high wage, high demand. And we're creating lists so kids know which ones that they're qualifying for and they're not.
So it's a wonderful thing that we have her in place, added that position, because it's going to be a lot of work to track all this stuff.
Yes, in fact, one of the changes, the most recent changes that they made, they actually scratched through, we encourage you to have a high quality work-based learning person, and now it says schools should have one. So we did it a year early, so that was good.
The other question I had was on the ASVAB piece. Do most of our ROTC students sit for the ASVAB, or is it?
Most, but not all.
Okay.
And
Is that something we can like change the curriculum and have them do that and fund that?
I'm sure that they are encouraged by JROTC leadership to probably do that, but we also have students that join the military and never sit in ROTC. So we have a little bit of
Right.
both. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for trying to clear the water that's muddled. It's going to take a lot of time for us as well as the public to understand the changes. And I hope people are patient paying attention so that they understand what the changes are that are coming down?
I think once we see our first official report, that's final, because right now we just know bits and pieces and we're not quite sure how it all adds up. I think once we have the final report, we'll be able to explain it better and prepare for next year a lot better.
Ms. Baker?
Mr. Holman, all of these together tell about each of our schools. Is there any report anywhere that separates each of our students to let them know how they're doing individually?
We will get not only cohort information, but we'll get subgroup information broken down. We'll still get all that same information so that schools can write goals for groups that need more help than others. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, I do have a couple of things. ASVAB testers, I think there was a question about having people able to test.
Yes.
Is that still an issue? How's that?
It was submitted. We do this office hours thing with DOE, so that was been submitted several times, and I think that's why we've gotten a couple different answers. Initially, the enlistment folks came back and said, once we train your folks, you can do it in groups of 50, but now I've heard that's bumped up to like groups of 100. And Mark Callahan's working with them to get the exact information so that we can start to identify some test dates.
Okay,
But we are able to train our own staff after we've met with the enlistment folks.
Well, that's good, because before it was just like, we don't have enough testers in the military, so, you still got to do. Good luck with that. ASVAB, I always have wanted students to take that. We used to require it and went away from that. It does give you something you have a conversation with. Student in my office, one time I gave him his, and he's, I didn't know I could be airline mechanic. How would I ever know that in Culpeper? I said, you wouldn't, but now you do, so consider taking what you're supposed to take. The other thing is, a lot of people, as summer comes on, what are the people doing in central office? I mean, they don't have anything to do they? And what I would like to point out is, if you look at all that has to happen in really about a month, to the books, the curriculum, the changes in curriculum, what matches this, what matches that. Do we have enough buses? Do we have enough Chromebooks? Do we have enough? There is plenty for a whole lot more workers, but we also try to make sure that as many workers as can be in the classroom. But the classroom teachers couldn't be able to do all they're supposed to and understand if the people at central office weren't doing what they're supposed to. And that is not a new revelation to me, but a more appreciated revelation to me nowadays. So I just wanted to acknowledge that too. So thank you,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
everyone who deals with these things.
Thank you.
All right, next one is finance with Mr. Dean.
Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Brads, tonight's finance update starts as usual with our revenues sources. You can see our two primary revenue sources, our state revenue and, of course, our county revenue. So looking at our average daily membership, you can see we are trending below budget. So ADM's coming in at 8,136 on a budget of 8,315. So we do have a shortfall of 179, and that equates to 1.3 million. So about 1% of our revenue budget. Keep in mind, we are only 17 days in, so no need to get overly excited here. And looking at the September 3rd enrollment that Dr. Brads highlighted earlier, we're already at 8,212. So we do see that the trend is going up, and our experience shows that the trend does go up all the way till December. So we would anticipate this number going up next month, and
actually the revenue shortfall going down next month. So nothing to get overly excited about. We just thought we'd put it up here. It has a little shock value, but again, I think we're going to see this number go down. On the expenditure front, things are operating as normal for 2 months, so not too far into the year. So the school operating fund is sitting at $13.5 million as of August year to date, and food service at $305,000 as of August. So specifically looking at our school operating fund, it's a budget of $124.6 million. Again, we're 2 months in. We typically spend 8 to 9% a month. That's historically what we've done. So we're right on target with 89% remaining for the year. Looking current year over prior year, I think this gives you another visual how we're spending. So this year we spent 10.8, actually a little bit up from last year of 10.2. Again, a lot of it's front loading expenditures, instruction materials, starting up school, use of grant funds. So I'm not overly excited. Again, this is only 2 months, so let's get some history and let it see what plays out. So I think we're right on track here. On the food service side, again, we spent $305,000. On a full month, so August still was not a full month, we tend to spend more in the 8 to 11% range. So we'll see this start to tick up monthly, but 6% and very little in July. It's rounding to zero, but 94% remains. So it's most of the school year remains here. Looking at it month over month, year over year, you can see that we are up. 1.2% here over prior year. So again, I would not get overly excited about this. It's still front-loading supplies. In addition, we're up 5.8% in meals, and I think Dr. O'Brien will show that in his presentation. So in a short period of 17 days, we had 1 extra day served. And so that's resulted in an increase in meals of 5.8%. So nothing, we're 2 months in, nothing to get overly excited about. And
anyone have any questions, comments?
Yep.
Thank you very much. At this time, we will have operations report by Dr. O'Brien.
Sorry, I should have said something sooner. You got it in? There we go. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Brads. I'm happy to give you the operations report for, really, it's covering August. First, starting with facilities and maintenance. As you see, we continue to do work on A.G. Richardson, the roof coating. It's about 30% complete. You can see the different color from the primer to the actual green that the roof would be. Floyd T. Benz, we've done all the shingle work, as we mentioned last month, and they are still working on the EPDM, which is that rubber coating that they put over on the flat parts of the roofing. Emerald Hill, we replaced a unit board on one of the AC units that are in the corner of one of the rooms. And at CCHS, we've done some reinstall of the floor coating in the concession stand, which just helps to clean that up quite a bit and make it easier to keep it sanitary. And of course, this time of year, we're still dealing with some bee hornets, removal of different nests here and there that we find in all kinds of places, including in the walls. Overall, you see a list of some of the things that were done. A big one I would say is we also replaced a water heater at Floyd T. Benz that I've heard a lot about from the staff there wanting to get that water hot. So I'm glad that we got that taken care of, as well as Pearl samples, some repairs that were made, and some HVAC adjustments. You can see the number of work orders as well below for August. Finally, back to food service. We have, you see how our CEP percentage is at 37.95% in terms of direct certification. And as Mr. Dean mentioned before, you could see where we are on our participation, the number of meals that were served. Once again, there were 17 days in August, so that's pretty good for the numbers that we're showing. And overall, you could see the 125 to the 129 total in participation meals. Again, a la carte still one of those places that it's up or down depending. Technology, you see a number of phone calls we received. Of course, the beginning of the school year in August, we get a lot of phone calls. And you can see that count along with the number of tickets received and the tickets closed. We did also bring on staff a new employee, a new technician, Jennifer Ahona. I want to make sure I said her name right. So she's a new member of our tech squad as well. And Chromebook protection plan, if you were kind of curious of how that's been going, this was as of August 26th, and I just got a count today that we're at 716 students total that participated in our Chromebook protection plan, who purchased that additional coverage. And so far, I think 2 have already utilized it once. So it's a good sign, because that's what we want to offer, is that peace of mind. And I'm sure those parents are appreciating that. We did some installation of some strobe lights over at Floyd T. Benz, as well as one of our safety concerns and considerations that are done. And we've been starting to work on all the access point replacements. As you can see Matt Baker there posing as he installs some of these at Eastern View, as well as CC and Emerald Hill. Transportation, again, our routing, we're right about where we expect to be, almost to 75% overall. This time of year, we're still kind of revising and tweaking routes as we start to take off the no-shows, the students who aren't riding. We actually are doing something kind of new this year where we have actual blackout dates. When we have a huge strain on the system because of the entire 5th grades going somewhere or the entire 3rd grades going somewhere else, we can't handle any more field trips on those days. So we're being more mindful of that and making sure that we don't exceed the capacity of the department. Here's our stop arm violations for August. Once again, it was 17 days, and we did have 287 citations. The approval rate has ticked up a little bit, which is good. It's kind of insinuating the fact that the drivers are being more cognizant of when they put that arm out, and making sure that they're given enough lead time to other drivers as well. And you can see where we have more of the violations occurring on Thursday. And you also see the AM routes versus the PM and the numbers. We did also add our new Bluebird buses as part of our procurement. So we're starting to replace some of our older buses, and we're also bringing on our other electric buses as well. And we also have 2 new drivers that we just hired and are now on the road, Alexis Chareria and Perseda Chavez. So we are glad to have those 2 new drivers as well. Any questions?
Any questions, comments? Yes, ma'am.
Coming in today, I followed an EV bus all through Shanetown and out to Pittsburgh Road. And as you had mentioned last time, it's very visible. The lights on the back are much broader, and maybe they're LEDs.
Yeah, they are.
Light on the top of the bus that comes between, and the extra stop arm on the back. I mean, it was very, the driver was very, very good also.
Good to hear.
But it was quite visible, and you could clearly see it. And so
Yeah.
for people that are violating the stop arms, I don't know how they act like they can't see them, but they're very visible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Thank
Okay,
you very much.
thank you.
All right, we were up to board member comments. This time we start with Ms. Pearson.
I just wanted to say congratulations for being noted as an EGOE Principal Distinction Program Participant. Congratulations. And then also to CTEC and Mrs. Richards Lutz and Mr. Summerscales and all the support staff. They were recognized and highlighted in the Building High-Tech CTE Centers, Lessons from District Leaders, which is a national publication and national recognition. So, and I know there were some things in the newspaper about that, but those are 2 great things that are happening
All right, Mrs. Baker.
Welcome back, everybody. And I just think I'm kind of surprised that 287 people in the month of August do not recognize a bus. I mean, a bus you stop, and it's a safety issue. And I think our community could be a little bit more careful when they see a bus. It's a bus, it has kids on it. You need to stop. And then you wouldn't get a fine or anything else. So that's all. Just, it's big, it's yellow, it's a bus.
All right, Ms. Hutchins.
Thank you. I just want to share some appreciation for our students being involved in Lafayette Day last weekend. I guess it's 2 weeks ago now, right? Yeah. Our bands and choirs and our EVs, NHS students helped set up, and we were greatly appreciate all of their assistance. I think the public appreciated their participation. Also involved in the mock interviews, and this year at both schools we had more business members participating, which is the whole purpose. Career Partners is a partnership with our community business leaders, so we were glad to see that. And also I believe our second graders are headed out to the quarry on Friday to see the dino tracks again. So keeping our fingers crossed for some good weather for that. So thank you all.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
Really more, I don't think, yeah, a ditto to everything that was said. And I just want to thank Dr. Bopp for your presentation tonight, and just what good stuff all of you all are doing. Thank you so much.
Ms. Desley?
Well, I'm glad that they finally recognize what Emerald Hill has done for a really long time, that we have Dr. Tori Gilbert there, and she does such a wonderful job. Congratulations on being named the Principal of Distinction Program. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Burnett?
Well, welcome back, and welcome families, and thank you so much, administration, for all that you do to make school happen. I wanted to give a shout out to our VSBA Media Honor Roll Program recipients today. We couldn't get the information out to the public without them and their wonderful jobs. Also wanted to give a thanks to Dr. Bopp and Robert Dwyer for that presentation and what you're doing with the EV TV department over there. And also congratulations to CCHS football team. I heard that they won for the first time in 17 years ever. Well, it's 17 years against Eastern View. So CCHS, congratulations. Wow. Woo! You guys did a great job. I'm trying to think. There was something I was going to ask, but I can't remember right now. But thank you all so much, and have a great, continue to have a great school year. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. I have nothing else to add other than information items. Summary of the school board's committee reports are online, memberships there. Employment Appreciation Family Resource Center staff is September 15th through the 19th. Transportation Department Appreciation Week is October 20th through 24th. Substitute Appreciation Week, which is also American Education Week, is November 17th through the 21st. Maintenance Appreciation Week is December 1 through 5. Future dates for meetings, September 16th is our Administrative Committee meeting at the school board office at 8:30. Capital Planning, the next day, September 17th at the school board office at 8:30. Our business work session is at the school board office at 6 p.m. on September 22nd. Finance Committee will meet again on October 13th here at 5:15, and the regular school board meeting will also be here at 6 p.m. on October 13th. At this time, Ms. Hutchins will read us into closed session.
I move that the school board convene a closed session at 6:54 p.m. to consider the following personnel matters pursuant to the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1. The appointment of certified personnel, the appointment of classified personnel, the transfer of classified personnel, the separation of certified personnel, the separation of classified personnel, the approval of homebound teacher for the 2025-2026 school year, approval of substitutes for the 2025-2026 school year, the approval of 2025 2026 winter coaching supplements, the approval of 2025-2026 winter coaching supplements, CC and EV respectively, the approval of 2025-2026 winter spring coaching supplements for CMS and FTBMS, the discussion of student matters of named student A released from compulsory school attendance due to religious exemption as permitted by the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A2.
Is there a second? Ms. Pearson, thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,